At Dynamis, we've been using the SCARF model for many years to help our clients to explore and understand the triggers for behavior. The SCARF model was developed by David Rock, who consults on using the evidence base from neuroscience to help organizations to understand what motivates their people, whether that's staff or service users, visitors, clinicians, teachers, and so on, when they converge together in a workplace. The SCARF model is a 5-part framework which helps explain how human behavior is driven by social concerns. And it summarizes 2 key themes emerging from social neuroscience. Firstly, that human motivation is largely driven by our desire to maximize rewards and minimize threats. And secondly, that the brain considers our social needs to be as important as our basic needs for food and water. The model identifies 5 social drivers of human behavior. The first initial of each category makes up the S, C, A, R, and F of the SCARF model. Status: how you see yourself and how others see you. Certainty: how confident you can be of the future. Autonomy: how much control you have over your life. Relatedness: how connected you feel to others. And fairness: how reasonable you feel decisions involving you have been. The SCARF model allows us to classify and understand the social triggers that drive behavior in everyone. And so in our workplaces and our organizations, the SCARF model allows us to design the right interactions that would maximize rewards and minimize threats for everyone in our workplace. There's an essential principle behind the SCARF model which knits the whole framework together, and it's the idea that the human brain has been organized to minimize threat and maximize reward. Threat is a shorthand way of describing things that make you feel a wide range of negative emotions. It includes everything from fear and sadness to anxiety and depression. Reward is the flip side of threat. It's a shorthand way of describing things that make you feel good emotions like happiness through to creativity, curiosity, hope, and even love. Put even simpler still, threats are the things you want to run away from, and rewards are the things you want to run towards. Millions of years of evolution have trained our brains to behave very differently when responding to a threat versus responding to a reward. Imagine for a moment that you're an early human, 200,000 years ago, living in a wild forest. Your brain would respond very differently to the threat of being chased by a tiger in that forest, compared with the potential reward of finding some fruit high up in a tree. In the first situation, all you need to do is run or climb, albeit very fast. In the second situation, some creativity and intelligent thinking might be needed to come up with a solution to the problem of getting up into the tree and getting hold of that fruit. So here are some of the biggest differences between the threat state and the reward state. Responding to threats, blood is directed from the brain to the muscles. We have less creativity, fewer insights, fewer ideas, and a focus on the here and now and action. So there's less focus on relationships with others and the long term. When we're responding to rewards, however, there's increased blood flow to the brain, more creativity, better problem solving and insights, fresh ideas for things to do, an ability to focus on bigger concepts and goals, and more focus on the long term and relationships with others. Imagine if each person had their own SCARF slider to represent how they felt. Each of the letters represents a different type of threat or reward. If all the sliders were on the left-hand side, that would mean that the person was in the threat state. They would be anxious. Their thinking wouldn't be very sharp. They might even be depressed. They would be responding to things happening to them negatively. And they would be disengaged from communication and from relationships. But move all those sliders to the right, to the reward state, and then that person would be more energized. They would be more creative, happy, more curious, and they would be very much more able to be engaged in communication and in building relationships. So that's an introduction to the basis of the SCARF model. Again, we use it for prescribing what might be going wrong in a relationship or an interaction and diagnosing the issues that might be going wrong. And then that can help us to prescribe, if we understand the threats that the person is feeling or that their brain is interpreting, then we can prescribe some action that the staff member or a team member can take in order to start removing those threats and moving the sliders towards somebody who can engage with our communication and who can help to solve the problem that's in front of us.